I saw you once, Maddie Schwartz. Before any of this began, I saw you. Alive. I was Cleo Johnson. But in my death, I became the lady in the lake.
I can't just be someone's wife.
You never wanted to do anything else.
I never tried to do anything else! Did you ever wonder why? Your writing dreams ruined your life. Now you wanted those same dreams to rewrite it. But why did you need to drag my dead body into it?
How did you know?
Know what?
Where to find her.
My wife is a lot of things. There's one thing that she's not. That's foolish.
This is not your high school newspaper, Maddie. People's lives are at stake.
So what you gonna do? You gonna get that money and leave everybody behind you?
I don't know.
Dreams push you down until you drown. You wanted to tell everyone's story,
Unbearable sorrow.
but your own.
This is my quest to follow that star. No matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to be willing to die so that honor and justice may live.
Every time someone turns up dead in that lake, it does seem to lead to you.
When I'm away from you, I'm happier than ever. Wish I could explain it better. I wish it wasn't true. Give me a day or two to think of something clearer, to write myself a letter, to tell me what to do. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. Not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare. To anyone who might care. Thought I could fly. So I stepped off the golden.
Hello. How is everybody doing on this lovely, these are going to be our Lady in the Lake Sundays. So much to talk about. I feel like we were tricked. You couldn't tell me with them first two episodes that we wasn't rocking with a smart, brilliant, thoughtful, forward-thinking, promising young woman in Cleo. Like at this point, I'm like, girl, did you jump in that water yourself? Like what? We were tricked. I feel lied to. But it's not just me here to talk about this episode 3 of Lady in the Lake. I'm here as well as my wonderful guests backstage. Like y'all already know I'm not gonna waste no time because I need to know if the sentiments are shared. Ashley in the back with my sweet perspective. What did you think about episode 3 of Lady in the Lake?
I feel like they're giving me a reason to take away from my name, the channel name, because at this point, I don't feel like I'm going to be sweet tonight. Now, I will say this show aesthetically is going to give it to you every single time. My issue was these daggum characters and the moves that they made this episode. Maddie is trash and Cleo is on her way. And I hate that for her. And I hate that for us.
Cleo on her way to being trash. There was definitely some trash behavior in the episode. Kay in the back with the books because she is reading them. What did you think about episode 3 of Lady in the Lake? Kay?
See, what I'm about to do is go to the book because I need to know when this relationship is going to end because I'm over it. Maddie and this cop, I don't want to see it anymore. And I need to know if this is going to end in tragedy. I want to know if she's going to get pregnant, but I need to know. I'm about to turn to the book because I need answers. I need to know how long I have to deal with it.
Child, with Maddie lying to her children up to, beyond bar mitzvah age, we don't need Maddie to bear no more seeds. Let's hope that's not the case. D Movieman in the back, who's normally really calm with his delivery on how he felt about an episode. Maybe he not as bothered or as heated as we are. I would love to know. D, what did you think about this episode?
Games have been played this episode, and that's all.
No, games have been played. Well, that's what we calling them. Ciao. Last but not least, my girl in the back with the blunt perspective, child. I can't wait to hear what she thought about this episode because I just know it's gonna be something so satisfying. Nikki, did you love this episode? Were you living for Cleo and Maddie's behavior?
I loved this episode. Like I'm like very surprised at y'all attitude. This episode was so good to me. The devil likes other hoes. I was living for Judith. I wish we got more Judith. I thought this was a great episode that gave us a lot.
And when I told you I watched it, what did I say? I said I think you're going to love this episode. Did I not say that?
Yes, you did.
I knew it. I can always depend on Nikki to be the op. Always depend on Nikki to be the op. Thank you so much to the 42 people already in here as we get started. Be sure to comment, hit that like button, and run these comments up. Of course, if you want your comment prioritized, attach $1 to it and keep it cute and show us as much love as possible. But we gonna get into it because, baby, Nikki gotta tell me what she loved. She gotta tell me what she loved. Hold on, I'm acting like you guys with the. I be seeing y'all go across. Like, do we need to be all up here and doing all these? Y'all be over there pressing buttons and doing other extra stuff. That's just not my look. Y'all be throwing it up like this is where home is. I don't know why this works for me in my mind. Dream books, gambling, and sacrificial lamb references. Cleo's dynamic with her father and family history with Mr. Gordon. Daddy Alvin is a Slappy Jr. Now, we open with the whole nightmare sequence, and we get to see a very young Cleo. This was very brief, but I really liked this part of the episode because it was very subtle, but we really got a whole lot with her interaction with her father and their dynamic, his trumpet, the beaten up numbers of it all. Clearly he has a problem. And I was like, Cleo never stood a chance. Cleo never stood a chance. The fact that this is now generational, your father has connections with Mr. Gordon and you, and now your son is running up and down the street with the numbers. It just seems a little inevitable. But this is maybe the fourth time we get a reference of a lamb. We see something being sacrificed, even when we have that first episode when Maddie goes to get that slice of meat, and it's almost like somebody has blood on their hands and something, a youngin is being sacrificed, and we have that all up and through the dynamic, the sheep. It was given a whole lot, but I did love the few moments that we got with Alvin because that explained to me why Cleo could end up with a Slappy. Ashley?
I said the same exact thing. Immediately when she's in the dream, young Cleo, and shout out to the baby actress. It was so adorable. And we had moments that I thought were beautiful shared between a father and a daughter. But you're right. I said, dang, she had her daddy, and every man she had since was her daddy. After that. But yeah, as far as the lamb, I had kind of equated it to innocence, right? And I said, okay, was this the time that like maybe the veil was lifted and now she's seeing the world for what it is, right? She's seeing her father bloodied. He's basically leaking, right? And, sold his trumpet to make ends meet. And she's like, Daddy, here, I have something. So now we get her becoming a savior, right? And she's doing this throughout her entire life up to where we see her now. I thought this was a very important scene. I thought these moments were incredibly important. And later on in the episode, when they talk about what this meant in the dream book, right? It was like you suffer a loss, but then you come in to great wealth. And she gives him her $10 and says, "Go, daddy, go put that," knowing your daddy's a digit gambler. And I'm like, baby enabler. It made me sad, but it also helped me understand Cleo more.
It made me sad as a parent, even if you have a weakened moment, no, but I just knew he was going to say, "No, baby, you put that up. You put that money back." I'd almost like, well, yeah, I could get my trumpet back if we hit. Like, oh, D, were you here for Daddy Alvin?
Can't say that I was. However, I was definitely here for the insight as far as the moment and the scene, because I'm always here in any story. I'm always here for the backstory, even like a glimpse into someone's backstory, because it's always interesting to see what has informed the mindset that someone has in the present day. And those things are always significantly informed by the past. And so to see literally the groundwork being laid for the type of person Cleo is going to become in the future is poignant, and it's like heartwarming to an extent. But when you understand the greater reality and consequence of that, even as far as her father is concerned, it's all the more devastating to understand that, and what she now has to understand about the world as a result of what her father does after this moment.
Never stood a chance. Nikki, would you have spotted your gambling daddy that $10?
Hell no. I'm gonna go to the candy lady down the street with my $10. But I hate the portrayal of how her trash ass daddy was the blueprint for her trash ass husband. Because my dad dipped out, and I rebuked that. That is not gonna be the blueprint. But this definitely, like Dee said, that's why I really like this episode. It's like we starting to peel back some layers on the character, and instead of us just seeing Chloe go through this world, we're starting to more so understand her motivations and what gets her in certain situations, and the scenario we currently find her in this place in her life, with the person she's with everything she's ensnared in. And I feel like it also gives a glimpse into the hope she had with Senator Summers, because god dang, oh Lord, this guy done had his hooks in them since like her bloodline, her daddy, her husband, her son. Are they gonna get the next generation and the next? So I feel like it just kind of makes it even more tragic to me.
Yeah, never stood a chance. Okay.
I saw it as a foreshadowing, the way that, because I think she knew somehow that she had these vivid dreams and it could help her dad. And she saw like the family was in need at the moment. And even though she was small, she said, this can help. And now we push it up to the future. She's doing the same thing. She's using her dreams to do something to help the family, even though it's morally wrong. And her trying to support your family financially and save your family, especially when they're in danger with all this criminal activity. She said, I'm going to do what needs to be done. And here we are back to doing the same thing, running numbers based on your dreams, because now she needs it for her own child.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, well, dang, Wood Harris, how old are you supposed to be? Shell look good around the edges. You was there with Daddy Alvin, and everybody like, how old is Mr. Gordon? Oh, it's tragic. I was gonna say, I just want our girl to make it through, child. She's not making it through at all, not one little bit. But we definitely ain't making no way with this. Just lay low, Cleo. The shooting is that investigation is happening. I'm just gonna make them take Myrtle out, huh? The shooting is the investigation is happening. Reggie is like a son to Mr. Gordon, and we found out what we already knew. Mr. Gordon never sent Cleo with that package. The way I would have set fire to that powder blue baby blue coat, like the way we leave Cleo running from that shooting, the scene of the crime, with that coat on, that distinctive, beautiful, thick coat. The way I would have at least, never worn it again, gotten rid of it. Fine, you want to keep it, put it in the back of your closet. That's evidence, ma'am. No, she's first of all, we're still, walking around in this episode. And we find out what we already knew. Not only is, Cleo, her tensions are high, she's paranoid. Like, I don't know, I keep looking over my shoulder. But instead of calling the Mr. Gordon, we steady, corresponded with Reggie. I was like, this is when I knew, starting the episode off, I was like, okay, I don't think I have no hope for my girl if we don't have sense enough in this moment to go straight to Mr. Gordon. D, why did she go straight to Mr. Gordon?
I'm still trying to put the pieces of that one together myself. I don't know if she feels like she wants to take control in this situation and figure, since Reggie put her in it, like he's the way out. But I'm just kind of like, who's running this thing, and who's like, what's the hierarchy here, and what? I don't know. I don't really understand that myself. All I can see is that maybe she feels like there's an opportunity for her to take charge or navigate her way through without Gordon's influence. But since Reggie's interference is what got her in this position in the first place, you would think there would be a clear way out of it, but I guess not.
Not even that. The fact that we have seen Reggie's temperament towards people in general, but towards women. Reggie doesn't give upstanding guy that's going to have my back that I need to keep a cover for. Like, I wouldn't want Reggie to go down, even though he put me in this. Let me figure it all out. I would have sung so loud. Okay, why didn't she go to Mr. Gordon first?
Because she's not a good criminal. She's not about that life. That's why. I don't understand why. Just like Maddie, they involved in situations that neither one of them have no information about. She is not. This is not the life for her. You ain't no G. You ain't no thug. You doing all the wrong things, and you gonna get caught up real quick. Don't do something if you know you ain't got the skills to actually cover your ass. And clearly, she ain't got them. She ain't built for this type of life.
But Ashley, this just takes me to, that intro when Slappy says, my wife may be a lot of things, but she ain't foolish. Like, she's very bright. This just seems like this doesn't seem, this whole Cleo in this episode did not seem like the Cleo that we met 2 episodes ago. Was it not?
It's definitely not the same Cleo that we've met, but I will say this: we as people are nuanced, right, and complex. And given a situation, some people are going to sink, some people are going to swim. And apparently, like she says later in the episode, she's literally drowning. She might as well go on and drown because you're being delayed, my good sis. Because there's no way on God's green earth I'm not going up to I'm not calling you on the phone, sir. I'm bringing it right to your doorstep because the heat is on mine right now. And as far as Reggie and this, family ties, Bel Air, Will and Uncle Phil situation they got going on, I do not care. Their whole little moment, I would jump off a cliff before I would put your name in some mess shell. Well, I would hate to see you fall. I do not care about any of this. Reggie is on demon time. He's diabolical. I literally hate his character with his jacked up eye. I say he can't see and clearly he can't hear either. I don't like
raspy voice self.
I care because it's like if push comes to shove, because I didn't know prior to this episode that they had that deep of a connection. But if I look at you like a son, and if we have to pick between the two, I just feel like Cleo's gonna either mess this up, as it sounds like, or she's gonna wait to the last minute and it's too late to go to Mr. Gordon, and he's gonna, write her off anyway. Because I'm not choosing between you and my son, Nikki. It's muted, Nikki.
Apparently, when Cleo went to get forced to drive that car and that shooting happened and she got shook and ran, she got so shook, it shook the sense out of her. And I really feel like this is the Cleo we met. We met her in a certain circumstance, and now she's in a kind of getting deeper into this hole. But we didn't see her do anything that was particularly brilliant. She's in a crappy situation. She's hustling, working jobs. I knew she was a fool when she came home from being a play mannequin and working at a bar, and her man was on the sofa chilling out with his friends. I knew she ain't had good sense then. So I don't know what anybody was expecting from her just from that alone. But the whole relationship with Shell and Lord One-Eyed Freddy. I feel like that whole scene for me was like kind of a facade between them, because it's kind of like how Joe Pesci went from being at the top in Casino to getting buried in the desert. I don't care how tight you think you are, y'all are in the underworld, and if it's you or me, if it's sink or swim, I'm choosing me every time. So I don't care. He looking at that fool like, child, I know if you go down, you gonna snitch faster than I can snap my fingers. I don't think either one of them kind of buy what the other one is saying.
Oh, child. The way I love that scene down in Casino, he's like, hey, yeah, oh, like, oh, whack. Oh, never stood a chance, Joe. It was over. They was waiting to take you out. He just knew it was like, is this a party? No. You about to get whacked. Cleo, you about to get whacked, girl. This is not a party. Oh, Lord. I can't believe I'm so over Maddie just 3 episodes in. Did you even bring a resume? Cleo, we see you back there, girl. Pierced ears. I'm such a rebel. You know, she's, I'm going to get my ears pierced. I'm just being rebellious. I was peeping Cleo in the back because, when we get the intro, it's like, I saw you one time, Maddie. I was like, yeah. You saw her more than once, because don't you see her on this counter? You looked at her, you paused. But okay. Maddie, who the F are you? That's not how this works. Now you're an investigative journalist who should just be handed a job. I am so over Maddie. Like, this made me not like Maddie even more. And then when we have that on top of, the unraveling of her relationship with her son that never was because of her indiscretions, I am just so over Maddie. The ability that she has just to walk in here like, yeah, I helped you. So yeah, now I was like, girl, you didn't help me with it. What did you do? You didn't do anything that somebody else couldn't do. Like, what? This isn't anything amazing that you handed over. Like, I was out here with all the rest of CDPD. What did you do? Well, yeah, you should just give me a job. Like, Maddie is extremely ornery. Nikki, how are you feeling about Maddie? Girl, you ain't even got no resume. That one time in high school gives you, the gratification to come in here like that. Get out my face.
You know what? I was in the aerodynamics club when I was in 7th grade. So let me go see if I can just walk up and get me a damn job and say, yeah, because when I was in 7th grade, Maddie is so vapid, and it's really astonishing to just see white privilege in full display. Not only did she walk in there and just demand a job, and by the way, the whole, oh, you wouldn't have had this without me. Didn't she get that from Officer Platt? And I'm a journalist that know the medical examiner. I could have got any old cop walking the beat to get me the same info you got from Officer Platt. Like, she act like she really went digging and got some real, scooped him. Like, girl, Lord Jesus. But I was very much here for Bob reading her the whole time. Like, you talking about you did writing in your poetry club? Like, I love how, but then it kind of just all went away because not only does she get a job after he told her this ain't how it works, she got an advance. I've been on my job for 5 years, and I guarantee you they ain't giving me no damn advance on my paycheck. Like, that is just so insane. Like, it's insanity. Like, she is just so, she just walks through the world with butterflies in her brain, even calling her son selfish. I could have smacked Maddie, but I mean, it's making for good television because Maddie sent her picture. She's sending pinups to men in prison. I don't know what the hell Maddie got going on, but it is entertaining to watch.
Oh Lord, we got a lot to unpack with Maddie. Kay, would you have given Maddie a job? Girl, would you gonna give Maddie this job?
I want to say who really do she think she is? And what I thought about is if she was so bold enough to do everything she did in this episode, she done did some shit before. She's done something. I don't know what it is yet, but she's way too bold and way too calculated for this to be her first time around. She done learned some things from trial and error. So I want to know what she did before this, because now this is like expert scammer activity.
D?
Yeah, I concur as far as what Kay has said. I just think that level of manipulation and duplicity and just how easily she's able to just wedge herself into these places, even down to like the whole thing with Tessie, the way she just positions herself in the way she's just able to end up in places she really shouldn't be or doesn't belong or should have no involvement in. I think it really speaks to her character. And I think, of course, we didn't get any of that this episode, but I do think that also has something to do with that, that issue or event or whatever it was that took place in her past as well. So clearly the deception and just the nature of who she is started early and now is bleeding now into her quote unquote new life as an adult. But it's not, but yeah, none of this was surprising to me. They're definitely standing 10 toes down on making Maddie completely, thoroughly unlikable character.
Ashley, deception.
It was the fact that she had the grande cajones to go in there and be like, not only am I not qualified for this job, but you're going to give it to me and you're going to pay my rent as well. Yeah, I was over her and Judith. Judith, I know you want to munch that box, but I need you to take a step back. I need Judith to get some friends her own age. I need her to socialize. You do not need to be up under this middle-aged woman as she gets her ear pierced for the same time talking about, but this is an orthodox whatever. And I think the thing about Maddie is she's been passing her whole life, right? No one knows she's Jewish. She presents in this world as a regular waspy Caucasian woman. And her character bleeds that in everything. There is nobody in their right mind who was in high school yearbook and said, I'm going to apply to be an investigative journalist, go in there with the expectation and get it. It's sickening. Sickening. Sickening.
Oh, Lord. Absolutely. Shout out to the 62 people in here in this Lady in the Lake live. We really, really appreciate it. I'm gonna show y'all some love and show Maddie some dislike, and we gonna come back because who the hell you think finna be taking your phone calls at the local black diner? She wouldn't have been able to give me 5 cents, 25 cents, or 30. We be right back. Oh, this here, I really wanted that black man in that diner to say to her, like, girl, where you think you at? I ain't taking your, like, we really indeed, like, said it perfect. Driving Miss Maddie. It's a little too much driving Miss Maddie scenarios happening. First of all, we want to look a certain way. Could you just take my calls for like first we offer 5 cents. It's like 20, 30 cents, and we might be talking. I wouldn't have done it, but okay, sir. Constantly coasting on white and pretty privilege because we just had to add our photo to the letter we sent Stefan. This scene here, the photos, because he's gonna, of course, because why not? So why not? Why would he respond to this, beautiful white woman, this photo? It wasn't just, enough that, I have a connection to you and I found Tessie's body in the woods and blah, da, 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 da. Why are we writing this to somebody who could possibly be the killer? Whatever. We know he's not, but Maddie don't know nothing. She's not bright. But we send the photo, and then we have that later scene with that very disgusting officer. And she's, oh, my ear. Oh, this person. It's just very like, look at me. I was really over Maddie sending this photo and telling that black man to take her phone calls. Because, girl, get the hell out of my face. D, please.
Listen, as you said, I called it, and I had a feeling. And the thing is, when you are in a position that allows you to walk through life and society in this way, it's kind of like, why not? And I am loath to bring this up. It's kind of like how some of us have had the experience where certain people will continue to walk right into us or walk right past, walk across the street and not stop because historically they haven't had to. So it's interesting how you sometimes will see that play out in real life, but it's kind of the same thing. And I'm not surprised. Now the photo threw me, but then again, like when I think about how Maddie has shown up, it's like, well, why wouldn't she do that? And the same thing with the phone. So it's we're continuing that whole theme that I kind of suspected we were going to get last episode. So this isn't the first time, second time, last time.
Ashley, is Maddie really that fine?
Heck no, she ain't that fine, but her lighting is really good in that picture. It's highlighting, right? All the right places. But no, just the entitlement. You know what I mean? Because that's how she's coasted and got along. Now she's going to get more than what she bargains for with Mr. Steven, whatever his name is, locked up in the Pinta. She'll be giving feet pics next. I don't trust Maddie. Again, her level of entitlement is disgusting. And it goes to show that this is her character. She's been getting away with this her entire life. So why stop, right? It's going to get her what she wants. And that's her aim. That's the mission. And Officer Black playing right into it. But we'll get to his trifle tale.
Black, you could have had anybody. Okay.
Once we found out she had done scammed her own husband and child, we should have known it was just no good coming out of this. Because what are you really doing? Because if she was stooped this low, she done really. She's one of those people who's like, when when you go low, she gonna find a way to go way lower. And Matt, because this is low, just to get a story like this is low, and it almost makes me wonder what kind of connection is she trying to build here with this? I don't put nothing past her at this point.
Who knows, Maddie? Who knows her plan? I just hope. I don't want to see Maddie win, and I feel like that's what we're gearing towards. Nikki?
When I saw Maddie put that love after lockup photo in with that damn letter, I fell all the way out. And I think Ashley right, she was sending the feet pics, the armpit pits, whatever that fish-eyed fool boy in that damn place want her to. If he want her to take a picture wrapped up in seaweed, she gonna do it. Maddie will do anything. Maddie, oh God. And I agree with what Dee said about certain demographics when they be walking and it's like you don't even exist, like you supposed to move. Maddie walks through the world just like that. Maddie walks through the world like it's her world, and she on a catwalk, and everybody is just little, Legos around in her life, and she can just put some together, use one to build this. And I wanted that black man to tell her to take it where the sun don't shine, because I'm sitting here like, girl, what the hell do I look like? I'm not your secretary. You big time now. You calling places talking about you with the Herald and all this stuff. Like, girl, if you don't go somewhere and get you a little 10-cent little rotary phone, I just cannot with Maddie. She is just out of this world. And I'm gonna tell you, now I love the Natalie Portman. But Maddie ain't that fine for everybody to just be falling all over themselves. Officer Platt drooling at the mouth, climbing up the fire escape, about to get his ass knocked down. He better be lucky a real cop ain't see him climbing up that damn. That was, baby, if I'm coming around here for a sneaky link, you gonna let me in the front door, okay? I ain't playing no games with you climbing up the fire escape. He looked like he was finna be on SVU. Stabler them was about to get him on that fire escape.
I wish they would have.
Oh, Lord, it's coming. If it's not here already, it is absolutely coming. Losing Lionel and tied into the church. Show him your devotion to his ministry. How much is Lionel's life worth to you? Nightmares and Cleo's at the end of her rope. Lionel's sickle cell is progressing heavily to the point that his eyes are yellow, which means the blood filtering through the lungs. Like Lionel is not doing well. We get more into Cleo's nightmares. We see that ghostly imagery, the lamb, and we not only see someone holding Lionel's lifeless body, but we see Tessie on the tracks, you know, yet again with the lamb, just more of that imagery, and we see her going through the motions. I put old Slappy up there because that's where's Slappy. Slappy's on stage, nowhere near present to offer any support to her or his son at all. But you know, Mom was like, you know what, it's too much. We've done all we can do. We've seen every doctor. It's time to go back to the church. So when that pastor came in there and did the hoovoo doo-doo voodoo that we do, he came in there and laid hands on the boy and wanted to be paid for his service. Not only that, like if you know want to say, I can't, you know, do anything in particular, but if you really want to save your son, it was giving Miss Pearly and, you know, Friday After Next, how much do you really love your boy? Give the church some money. Absolutely not. That pissed me off, but I cannot say that I was surprised. We all know what it is on this panel. Ashley, well, you're here for the pastor.
Okay, so here's the thing, y'all. I'm saved. I'm a believer. Okay, I believe in Jesus. I do. But you know, part of me was like infuriated and pissed off with this bloodletting ritual that he did, because I ain't never seen that in all my days. We pricking fingers and dropping blood in cauldrons and doing all sorts of things. But I will say this is a very real practice for some ministries, and this level of deception, manipulation is prevalent and goes on, and it should be called out and exposed. Did it hurt my feelings? Absolutely. Did it break my heart? Yes, for sure. But I think it shone a light on things that have been happening since the beginning of time. As soon as religion entered the picture, people have been using it and manipulating it. But how low down can you be? Her baby is at the end of his rope. You're her last resort. Talk about how much do you love him? How much is he worth to you? And she said, well, how much do Jesus want? Oh, sister, it's not about what Jesus wants. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice. It was disgusting. As far as the trolley ride, this was probably one of my favorite scenes, right? Because I think she is seeing the death of her baby, unfortunately. But also her father being the one to hold her son on the trolley, and then being on a trolley without a driver, kind of symbolizing that her life is out of control. There's no one steering. There's no one driving. There's really no hope, right? And then you look out the window and you see this baby who's just been unalived. It's like, oh, this is definitely the end. But yeah, the pastor pissed me off.
It was given I'm next. D.
Yeah, I was not here for Reverend Leon Lonnie Love and his shenanigans. It was a no for me, dog. And it's one of those things, and I agree with Ashley, and I think even for those who do believe and how contentious that can be, the reality is, because the thing is, I'll even say myself, I had a grandmother, a great grandmother, excuse me, who in many ways lived the Bible in every possible way, but especially when it came down to community and giving and being a light to others, supporting others, like family. I mean, she went out and I mean, like the impact she had on the people around her was just what was beyond. And unfortunately, as a result of that, she would often get taken advantage of. And in her mind, and how she kind of took that was, you know, her reward is in heaven, and her motivation, and how she looks ahead, you know, like she was a very I don't know, there's a lot I appreciate and respect about what her intentions were, but it was another reminder that even when someone goes about doing the right thing, there will always be someone, and even in the reverse situation, like there will be people to prey upon and benefit and manipulate and do what they can to benefit from a situation. And even when this child is at death's door, we see that doesn't really change anything. How can I benefit? How can I profit? And I think it also ties into what makes this I guess this underworld within Baltimore work the way it does. Because if everyone is looking for the next handout or looking for the next piece of the pie, then what does that do to these people, and how desperate do they then become to be able to get that piece. And I think as far as the dream, I think it's in a way showing the way these small, even though it doesn't technically involve Maddie, she is tied to Tessie in a way. And I think the parallel of that with the lamb and the trolley and the collision, I think in a way it's these small fractured pieces of their lives that are dysfunctional and chaotic and all over the place and falling apart. Those things are colliding or about to collide at the same time.
Okay.
See, the way I was thinking, being that he tried to scam her, what kind of other scams is this pastor doing? Because this, again, when people, this is like professional level scamming. I had to try to go and sneak and find and figure out what other kind of scams he's doing to blackmail him. Because you don't just blackmail a mother and her ailing child. How are you getting money and stuff from other people doing this food? And then how you tell her that it don't work, but you want her to pay you so you can do more of this thing that don't work. Make it make sense for me. I'm so confused. At that point, I would have said, you know what? I'll do it myself then. Give me the book. I'll do the ritual.
Kay says she trying to blackmail the pastor. Nikki.
Yeah, unlike Ashley, I'm not saved. I'm a heathen, and if they don't get this black damn Lou Pearlman ass scamming pastor out of here, the way I would have knocked that blood bowl over and everything he had going on, because I'm just like Kay just said in one breath, he said, "Sister, you know sickle cell ain't no cure, but God can." Like I'm sitting here like, boy, don't sit here and say it ain't no cure, and then say, "Oh, but if you get them, oh, God don't need sister, but the church do." I know good and damn well that church probably getting money from Gordon, probably scamming other ailing people, got the girl in a wheelchair thinking her legs can work. I don't know what, I could not with this scene. I couldn't.
Oh, Nikki said he about the what was that? Mississippi. He about the midnight mass. This whole community being a false prophet. Not my baby sending me 99 cents. Alasia, thank you so much. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Mommy appreciates it. You know, it all comes back home. Thank you so much. You know, I'm gonna take that and go. I'm gonna go do something. I don't know what, but I'm gonna do something with that. Thank you. I'll show you some love in a second. Lord, thank you. Let me move on to the next one. Thank you, Lord. You know, something special about that 99 cents. I'm gonna need $1.08 next time, you know, so I can really mess it up. Get taxes. Oh Lord. What's the damn procedure? What's the fucking procedure, Officer Platt? Daniel has never looked more unattractive. Investigating the shooting, confronting Cleo, Miss Mary Matt's fire escape, role play rendezvous. Why, Daniel? Why? Okay, let's just, okay. So we have him actively doing his job this episode, trying to find out with his partner what happened to Miss Myrtle Summers, who shot her, when, where, and who all was over there. He, of course, gets, after badgering a witness, his butt shot wound, leads him to Cleo. Talking to Cleo is very, you know, I know it's not you. Let's just, the little answer he gave, you know, tell me what it is and I can maybe, you know, keep your name out of, you know, keep you out of this whole situation. Just give me a name. I just didn't like that. But I was still rocking with him as an officer. But when he said, you know, how are you going to keep me safe or guarantee me anything when your partner is out there, you know, taking funds and hush money and whatever else from Mr. Gordon? Like, you guys are on payroll. How are you going to promise me anything? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Have a good day. Yeah. First of all, no. Second of all, you couldn't wait to catch me at the club or something. You had to come directly to my door where these people are already looking upside my head. But all right. Climbing up the fire escape. Sir. If you just want to get shot, you want to go down. It's one thing to be a black man. It's one thing to be having sex with this white woman. It's one thing to be a black man having sex with this white woman who's an intruder. This just looks grapey. This looks very grapey, and it's nothing for somebody to excuse this and take you out, especially when we get into Judith being a snitch. this is all like a setup. I should hope that we don't have any more moments of him actively entering her apartment this way. And then why? I don't want to have to sit through another love scene between Officer Platt and her. Like, we had this. It's so non-sexy. I don't know what it's supposed to give. I should hope like hell this is supposed to make us uncomfortable and it's not supposed to be erotic, because ain't nothing attractive about them being together. Nikki?
The way that these fools are literally criminals for dummies. Officer Platt solved the crime in 17 hours. Like, if he would have did his job and actually handcuffed Cleo and took her in, you know, she gonna fold like a picnic chair. They literally got everything leading back to them so easily. I just really am done. But I am happy that our Black Al Capone was not the fool that hired them idiots. We found out it was what is one-eyed Jack name? Freddie. Lord. But Officer Platt kind of what kind of made me look at him sideways is when the bomb gets dropped. I guess it was a bomb to him. I don't know, that his partner is taking money. I don't know if he's Serpico or if he on the take with them. Like, I don't know if he just don't want to fight the corruption and get shot in the face. Like, I can't tell. Was he surprised to hear his partner took that money, or is he just like, girl, you better keep your mouth shut? Like, but it's making me upset that, oh, poor Cleo, baby, she got nobody around her that can help her in this. Like, you're the freaking law enforcement, man. You know what she's dealing with. The fact that, like you said, she's a loose end. He just gonna just stroll on out the department. Bye, Miss Judy, whatever he said that lady. You, next time you see Cleo, she could be dead. You know what will happen to this girl in this web that she's caught up in. I really could not believe that he just left that lady like that. Like, are you kidding me? Officer Platt, Lord.
Okay.
Cleo, look, we about to take your hood card, because every Black person supposed to know when the po-po come at you, okay, you better use your Miranda rights, okay? You ain't even got to say nothing without the presence of a lawyer. He ain't got no warrant or nothing. Why are you having this? And you look guilty and suspect. She don't even know how to straight face talk to him. Like, you know, I wasn't even there or nothing. She looked like, I'm guilty. Y'all must have cameras and stuff. Y'all seen me? They described me, literally telling on herself. I'm like, you are not built for this life, Cleo. This is a mess. And I'm about sick of him and Maddie. Every time I said, y'all done pissed me off, and I didn't even want to watch the rest of the episode after that. I almost cut it off. Because what are you doing? Why do we need to see this? Because the only thing I think about when I see them together is lynching. That's the thought.
Oh, Ashley.
Lord, I have so many scenes, and I concur with the other panelists who said, I never want to see them get Bucky naked again. She must have the driest cootenanny ever. There was nothing that was sexy, that was beautiful, that was interesting about their lovemaking. And my thing is, this is the second time y'all done got Bucky naked. Why are we already role playing? What is the point of this? It definitely gives, I just want a YT woman and I've just always wanted a mandingo. That is what this gives, and it's so disgusting. Aside from that, to imagine that I wanted this man. I love this man. I thought this man was fine and Insecure. And now look at him. Acting how he's acting, looking how he's looking. And my thing is, you so worried about this coot nanny uptown that you are going to let your good sis just hang. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even like, oh, I can protect you forever, indefinitely. We can make an arrangement. It was like, oh, I can keep you safe for a minute. Sir, what's a minute? But aside from all of that, can we just get into the beauty of Cleo's face? Even in this image, like her face beat down, like it was giving Maud. I was loving the lashes. Everything about her was perfection and a vision in terms of the aesthetic. But yeah, he can go to the hot place. I'm over Daniel, aka Officer Black, aka Officer Platt.
Oh, I can always rely on Christine. Dry pancakes. Girl, want no syrup, no butter on them cakes. They just dry. Them wheat pancakes. That's that wheat brand that you get when you're up in age and you don't want all that on your chest. D?
Listen, we are so far removed, and this is a far cry from Daniel and Issa getting it in the blue light studio on season 1 of Insecure. This
Quote the scene, sir. Quote the scene.
Take us there.
Listen, Daniel has fallen far from that to this. It's unfortunate. I will also agree, because I was thinking that as well. Cleo's face card is certainly not declining anytime soon. The look was definitely giving me Supremes. I can't tell you when or where, but I've seen a look that they've had that the aesthetic is very, very similar. But yeah, I just think that I don't know if at this point Platt is just used to being able to have his cake and eat it too, as far as like what Cleo clocks him on and the money and all this other shady stuff behind the scenes. So maybe he feels like the whole thing with Maddie is like, well, I'm already doing my dirt anyway, so why not add something onto the plate? But we know it's not going to end well for him, because this is still 1966, and whatever happens to Cleo, I mean, we know what happens. But I'm saying, even with that happening with Cleo, it doesn't mean that he's going to be exempt from the consequences for his involvement in what we're seeing now. Doesn't make any sense.
Child, the trailer just gets me. These are people's lives you playing with, Maddie. Yeah, say that for somebody who's not, clapping pancakes, Daniel. I gotta get out of here. Oh, what does it matter if our son is going to die? Dora's last song. Cleo is working on my last nerve. Belligerent and drunk. Why? Cleo knew at this moment Reggie lied and decided escapism was the right route. Now we have, since episode 1, Cleo has been throwing back that flask like nobody's business. But in this one in particular, child, she was really, I don't know how, it can only be so much liquor in there, Cleo. You be throwing that little flask back real heavy. But, which I thought was interesting, after we have our encounter with the pastor, we literally go into this club, we're supposed to be laying low because Reggie is doing his best to keep her distance between her and Mr. Gordon. We get it's real Holy Ghost, Holy Spirited on that dance floor. The way that Cleo is dancing to Dora's song, y'all have been in the black church before. It's giving, when you catch the whole, when they put their hands on your forehead. I was waiting for somebody to come touch Maddie real quick. It's not just Maddie, it's just the whole, like, all these club scenes are giving me every single thing I ever needed. Cleo looked beautiful, even though she was drunk. She looked good. Cleo looks so good. Every single frame, every single, like, the dimension and the looks that they are able to give Cleo in one episode in combination with her regular life and her being a model in that department store is everything. But first of all, Slappy, it took you too long to come get your wife. It took you too long to come get your wife. Everybody is looking. Cleo is kind of having this outer body experience, and she is acting out of character. Slappy's just looking like, oh, what's that's not like her to be out here looking all loose, dancing slow with these men. She looks like she's in distress, and he's just back there watching. But he comes to get her, and they go home. The whole, like, I guess not only trying to escape through just this nightlife, this drinking, but she just wants to have sex with Slappy. Like, just take it away. I just don't want to be here in this moment. And I almost was Slappy on Slappy for a little bit. It was like, I don't want that, baby. Talk to me. Something's wrong. Which I was like, Cleo, at least tell somebody outside of your little core people, like Dora, who's high, what's going on, so that somebody will know what happened to you if it does. And we decide to, just chalk everything up in that moment to how she's feeling about her son and not even mention the shooting. But when Slappy decided to make this statement, I put him right back on the ground where he belongs, because who the hell are you talking to? Don't blame me for having dreams. Don't blame me for having a dream. Bye, Slappy. Bye, Slappy. Cleo, once again, just like you guys have stated, she has no one. She feels like she is out here alone. There is nobody on my side. Even in this moment, I can't even feel like I can confide in you about anything. You're not even here or in support of me when I need you here, or our son needs you here. And it's because you chasing your dream. That's all you care. Don't blame me for having a dream. Get in my face, Slappy. Nikki, how did you feel about Cleo's behavior in the club? Why didn't she speak up then? And were you here for Slappy supporting her?
I think aesthetically, that scene looked amazing. Like y'all already said, Chloe looked amazing. The style design, everything was gorgeous. But I thought that scene didn't make a damn bit of sense. Chloe been sipping from that flask.
Who's Chloe? Who's Chloe?
I mean, Cleo. Cleo been sipping from this. Look, you get to call Officer Platt Officer Black. So I'm about to make up a name for Cleopatra too. But what was I saying? It really didn't make any sense that Cleopatra been sipping from that flask every time she turned around, and she got drunk off 2 martinis. Like she was drunk as Cooter Brown, and she threw back 2 martinis, and I was like, "How you drunk already?" But
she a lightweight.
Slappy. It really must be amazing to be a man without a care in the world. How the hell you dare to tell me about your dream? She ain't got time for a dream. She got to deal with responsibility in real life. And what makes me so sad, and I swear they set me up to drop one little thug tear when it is time for Cleopatra to get taken out. Because when she was standing at that bridge with that flask that must be full of juice because she got drunk off 2 martinis, she said how she went to the politician, she went to the reverend, she went to the pimp for protection, but she ain't got nobody but herself. What the hell is the point of a husband if I don't have nobody but myself? Come on. What is the point of a husband if my life on the line and the only person I could outcry to is my high-ass best friend? Like, I can't even outcry to you because you on stage telling jokes like you Chris Tucker. Like, it just really gets on my, like, what is he here for? Like, what is he here for in the slightest? It's so frustrating to me. And he really got the nerve to say, don't blame me for having it. I'm sure she had dreams, but then she had kids and a man sitting on the couch like a potato. She had to go out there and be a mannequin in the store window. And I'm blaming Slappy for everything because if he was doing his ish and carrying the weight, she would have never had to go get in deeper with Gordon, which caused her to be in this whole spiral of being in the damn set it off shootout. He no good. He no good. No good. He bringing out my commitment fold because I'll be damned.
Well, we both blaming Slappy heavily. Ashley.
Ooh, mute. Muted.
Hold on. I think I'm gonna go to somebody else.
Okay, sorry. I got it. Sorry, I was stuck in my mouth stopped working. Okay, multiple things though. But when she said, you talking about a dream and I can't breathe, that literally sent me. I'm like, how oblivious. You two live in the same household. You see her struggling and going to these 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jobs. And you talking about a dream? It's time to put your dream on the out the window at this point, sir. You don't have time to dream. You need to go to work every day. It's so disturbing, but it's so indicative of so many women's stories. So I appreciate that it's being told, but it's terrible. Cleo on this dance floor. It felt like a battle to me. It felt like war. It was beautifully choreographed. But when she's being flung here and there, it's like she's pushing back. She's giving, she's receiving, she's pushing back. And finally, it's like she just gave up. And I think that's what we're going to see, of course, as it goes on. But also, Dora. I got to give a shout out to the Dora who sang Nina Simone down. Because, baby, listen, these scenes give me everything that I need. But yeah, this is what happens, I feel like, as far as Cleo's situation, when you have a father like hers, when you've been too well acquainted with that, and then you marry a man just like him who was never equipped to be a husband. He was never equipped to be a father, and he's relinquished his role. Says she might as well have been alone. Might as well, because Slappy, who the cares? And you're not even funny, for real.
Okay.
I said, if this ain't Michael Ealy and Think Like a Man, sir, we don't have time for that. This is an emergency situation, okay? We ain't got it like that at this point. Why is it that you can't dream and live in reality at the same time? How about you dream while you at the 9 to 5 like everybody else? Keep the dream, but actually take your behind to work as well. And one thing that I wanted to point out is, and this bothers me in real life, why is it so hard for Black men to see a Black woman's cry for help? Oof. She has did a cry for help in front of a few of these Black men, and none of them have taken a moment to stop and pause and say, are you okay? Do you need something? How can I help you? Do you need to take a time out? How can I support you in this moment? Because they all expect for Black women to be the strong Black woman, and that, oh, she'll sleep it off. She got it. She'll come around. She'll be good, but then be mad at them later on for being Miss Independent. But when she's doing the cry for help, where are you?
On stage, slapping them jokes out.
That ain't nobody laughing at.
So many thoughts. Well, first of all, I'm a little confused about what Slappy's dream is, because if it's to tell lynching jokes in front of an all-Black audience, I'm a little confused about that particular aspiration. But as far as and to answer or to kind of bounce off of what Kay just said, the inability of a Black man to recognize a Black woman's pain, I think about Zora Neale Hurston, and there is, I can't remember which page, but there's a point where there is a character, I believe it's Janie's grandmother, but she says that, and I can't remember if she says Black specifically, but I do know she said, and basically that's what she's referring to. But she says, a woman is a mule of the world. And so the thing is, if you become accustomed to a mule serving its purpose in that way, and you are not necessarily required to pull your weight in the same way that a mule does, and you can basically serve your role in a way that doesn't require you to do and take on everything that a mule has to, then why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Why would I work just as hard as the mule? So I think that's what it comes down to. It's just like, oh, you made it easy. So why would I recognize the suffering? Clearly you're a strong Black woman. Clearly you can take it. Clearly you can deal with it. There's no vulnerability. There's no suffering on it. You just do what you have to do, and I can just roll with it. So I think that's what it comes down to. And we see, unfortunately, Cleo is accustomed to that, and she sadly has made it all too easy for a man to come into her life and subject her to that. And I totally agree with what everyone said as far as the dance sequence and all that. Listen, I have never had a desire, whether high school, college, especially college. Thirsty Thursdays at the Palladium was not my scene. It was not. But old school clubs and all that, I'm telling you, I need a time machine, because it just looked like a time. And then I already told you, Dora already has my heart. That voice, the all, like, everything. Yes. So that moment I was absolutely here for. But as far as Slappy, Cleo, it's self-explanatory.
Child, on that note, I'm gonna show y'all some love. I was taken back, it's Mercedes' last dance at the Panks. This is when is Dora going to Paris? I was like, what? Was she going to Paris? All right, that's a news to me that this is. She didn't look like she was in no position to go a damn place last time we saw her. But if that's what it is, all right, y'all keep hitting that like button, showing us some love, and we will be right back. Somebody save Cleo. Did anybody even try?
What you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say that. I'm sipping wine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm, just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the key swing, in the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open.
You trying to talk about your dream and I can't breathe. Oh, just crying in that bed. I feel, and it was in the kids' bed too. I feel so sorry for Cleo. Like, that ain't the right man. I felt sorry for this baby too. Now, this is why, sorry, Lupita, this is why we were supposed to be following Noah in that new quiet place. Because, girl, I've been read your diary. If y'all didn't know, this is little Noah in the quiet place. He really out here acting.
Yep.
He's really out here acting. He's selfish. Maddie, go straight to hell. Girl, I read those not so hid diary entries years ago, and that's still my father. I don't care what you say. The name is Daddy Milton. Maddie is miserable. Who is his father? This poor baby. We don't like her either. I just like, how can Maddie get any worse? How can you get any worse? At this point, I'm questioning the type of mother she has been to him this entire time, the type of wife she has been this entire time, because clearly this was a means to an end. This was nowhere she wanted to be. I'm really feeling like, which I hope it's not, that baby Seth is the product of grape or something, or an incident that happened to her, whatever we're going to get into, or whoever his father may be, we don't know. But to spring this on him now, take him on the chilling adventures in the hood. Like, girl, I want to be here. Why? Bring me here to do what? Her mission, first of all, waking up late, getting there to this, what looks to be like a fair, this college kind of expo type of thing. And like, you can be so much more than this. You don't have to be like Milton. You don't have to. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The fact that he has been carrying this information since 13, his bar mitzvah, and it's just like, I don't care. I don't care about that. The only thing that's made me do is live in fear that he would find out and leave me, leave us. But you left. Like, this poor baby, this poor baby. And the fact that she just sat there so nonchalant, like, oh, well, like, what was this for, Maddie? What was this for? Who is this serving? Because it didn't help him. It didn't. I just really feel sorry for him. And I hope that we don't have a situation where Milton is walking away, because they are very, community Jewish. And I don't know how Milton would take it if this isn't his son. And he's been, bamboozled this entire time. Nikki, get your girl.
I swear, this scene, oh my God. And I said it last time, that for a kid, teenagers gonna have attitude, but for a kid to have as much, like, he loathed. I was like, I know it gotta be something. And just when you think Maddie can't sink no lower, and the thing that this was given to me, it was given, she wanted to get caught. She wanted Milton to find those diaries. That made oh my God. But I feel so freaking bad for Seth, because not only does this bomb get dropped when he's 13, but he has to reconcile this on his own. Like, at 13, I have to reconcile the fact that I've been lied to my whole life. My father ain't my father. And from what he said he read in the book, in the diary, this wasn't like I don't know, maybe Maddie knew full and darn well that this is not Milton's son. She had some kind of escapade with somebody. That's what it sounded like Seth was saying about who she was with in that book. And Maddie was not giving me the devastation I needed her to give me. First of all, she was not that situation did not call for the type of anger for you to blurt out information like that. Let's say he didn't know. That was not the time to say, yeah, that ain't your daddy. Nah. But she didn't give me the devastation that I would think a parent would give to know that you have broken your child, and like you've kind of messed up his whole formative years of it was so sad when he's like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who my father is. And I found it more heartbreaking when he's like, but the dad he has is the only dad he needs. Milton could just skip. Like, if you're not my child, morally, I've raised you and I should have a bond, but he could just skate. He could just dip out and have no ties to Maddie or Maddie's son. But then it leads me to, are we clear on how old Maddie is right now? Like, how far removed is she from high school? Because is he the Durst guy's son? Like, I'm trying to figure out whose son he is and how far removed is Maddie from high school. Is she in her early 30s, late 30s? Because I'm trying to figure out who the boy daddy is, because I just feel like that gonna come up. But I'm not clear if I missed something. I'm not clear on her age, because Milton looked like he's 45 and Maddie looked like she's 34. So I can't call it on how old she's supposed to be. But this was devastating. This was sad. That young man trying to dodge the draft, look for his daddy. I don't know. This poor young man.
Maddie just pissed me off. It just seems like how long have you been plotting to blow up your life? Like, we used Tessie this go round, but clearly she left those out, hoping that Milton would find it, and then that would be her outs to get out of this situation. This is a trash woman. D.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. The whole angsty teen thing, you know, in movies, TV shows, even books, it's usually not my jam. But I have enough awareness, especially the older I get, to know that a lot of those things come from somewhere, and it's usually representing something, even if we're just talking about hormones, getting older, adolescence, puberty, all those other things. But I do think that in this case, it seemed to reach so much deeper than just, you know, a bad attitude, so to speak. And I think it's very evident in Maddie's lack of regard or any kind of consideration for her son, that she could just lower the boom like that, and to just so brazenly blurt out like, "Oh, he's not," and it's almost like it almost felt to me intentional, or like unconsciously intentional. It was just like, you just want, like, that's just the first thing I thought. And then my thing is, what do you want your son to now do with this information?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean for his life? And what is he supposed to, like, how is he supposed to look at you? How is he then supposed to look at, I mean, we know how he feels about his father, but I'm like, how does that disrupt everything about his development and the type of man he'll grow into? So I thought it was wild, but in a way, I've said before that it's not, in a way, it's not surprising, because Maddie is an arbiter of chaos. So it's just like, it doesn't matter who is involved in the chaos, she'll make sure she brings it, and she did.
Oh, I think Maddie thought at this moment, oh, you don't want to live in the Black projects. You don't want to live here. It's not your father. You're just going to leave now because you're mad. It's not your dad. You're just going to move in with me. We're just going to be one big happy family. So you can't say I left you, and I can rid myself of some of this guilt of walking out on my family. Girl, you don't care about that boy. Ashley. It's muted. Oh, a mouse. Hey, is that mouse?
Okay, sorry, y'all. I don't know what's going on. It's Maddie. It's the demon Maddie. Okay. Yeah. Nikki, 45 easy. Now it's around the eyes. I can see it. But so here's the thing. And I hate to be right. I don't want to be right. But I told y'all she was plot planning and scheming. This is a dangerous YT woman. She's one of the most dangerous, because she just gives no F's about collateral damage, right, at this point. And this is not the beginning of her hoetry with Officer Platt. All right. She has been hoeing for years. I guarantee it. She wrote it in that book for a reason. I am thoroughly convinced when anybody writes down these types of situations in books and leaves them around to be found, they want the smoke. She wanted all the smoke. And poor Seth, I'm very much, honor your parents, but she don't deserve no honor. Seth. And I feel bad for him. He has found home and identity and safety in Milton, something that she clearly has not been offering him his entire life. I told y'all that boy had a disdain for her because she ain't been no kind of mama. This is not new. She was late to her son's college career day or whatever. He's like, well, the other parents here were on time, those that cared about their kids. So we clearly see that he feels like she doesn't care about him at all. And then he says, you bring me to Negro land and you bring me to this raggedy apartment that I have no business in. I don't want to be here. I don't want to see you. He said, take me home. And I'm with you, Seth. Go home and leave your raggedy mama where she's at.
Okay.
She never wanted this family. This family was for show. This was for show. And of course, Didn't nothing happened to her. That baby, he was the side baby that she pushed on that man. She wanted to, after she probably had, got knocked up and stuff. She said, I need to have a family. I need to give the look of it, because see, that's what she does with everybody. She's always concerned with the external validation. I want people to think that I have this wonderful family and this wonderful, husband and child. I want people to think I have this wonderful career, when she really ain't worth the crap. All this was for show. Even him. She didn't never want this family in the first place. She only built it up because she got knocked up.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, when exactly did that happen? Because I'm sure they're very traditional. Probably like, did you either stepped out on your marriage, or this was, I'm pregnant now, I gotta hurry up and find a husband?
She gives me very much. I've cheated several times.
Well, Ashton already said she been out there hoeing, and it was happening way before Negro Land. So
for years,
that's some slanging to do, ma'am. Terrible individual. I think we're only scratching the surface with this deception. It's terrible. Credited contributor in an advance for what? For what? Judith isn't slick. Maddie is just gullible. Maddie is just hired based on Stefan writing her back. I mean, I said this last time. I really wanted to go on this because she just doesn't seem very bright. I wanted to go on this journey to figure out how she would get into any position to share Cleo's story, or get in wherever off of Cleo's back. Any dominance anywhere in the field of journalism, and it's just given to her. I mean, we shouldn't be upset or be shocked or expect anything, because that's where a pretty privilege or a white privilege type of situation comes along. Some things are just given to you. This job, this connection to Bob, even though I was like, Bob, you went back on everything you said. You sitting there, you get resume in high school, and you gave it to her anyway. You gave it to her anyway, just because you could have took a picture of a baddie and wrote Stefan a letter yourself. I'm sure he would have asked you to pull up. Like, anybody you could have seen, you could have hired. I'm sure she's not the only, white woman, that whole building of people. You could have got somebody else to go in there. Hey, she did it, so can you. Write old boy a letter. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't going nowhere. Go in there and get the story. Make sure your titties is sitting up when you go in there for it. This could have happened, but we just happened to give this to Maddie. I feel like they're trying to display that Maddie is, because I think they're in there talking to the coroner or the person who examines the body or whatever, and it's just like, well, what was under the fingernails, and what did he have scratches on his body? Like, oh, we're getting into Maddie. She's smarter than your average bear. Hell no, I still don't see it. Don't try to spread that on my cracker because she asked, something beyond what was the the gravel or the evidence, or just about the baby. Was she assaulted or what? Like, I just don't believe it. This was given to her out of nowhere. Judith conveniently mentioning that the apartment was robbed to this scathing, scaly little officer who, everybody just want them some damn Maddie. I just feel like that is gonna, some way, it's gonna fizzle on down to Officer Platt. It's gonna fizzle on down to Officer Platt. And if I'm relying on stank ass Judith, that's exactly what she wants. I need you to get out the way. You on my girl a little too much. You think I don't know? Because clearly they're damn besties. Dumb Maddie. They're besties. I'm sure Maddie is sharing her little escapades. Maddie is trying to relive whatever she missed out on when she was younger. And it's like, so yeah, I'm getting it every day and twice on Sunday. Yeah, he came through the fire escape. She having a whole little chatty patty situation with Judith. And Judith is just like, girl, I'm the one who's trying to climb up your fire escape. Why you ain't calling me? I munch carpets. Did you not know? Nikki, I know you be over there living for Judith. You go ahead.
Oh, I think you're muted.
You are killing me with your Maddie accent, because Natalie Portman is putting on that, and I gotta take that's the only thing that really annoyed me about the show is how Natalie Portman putting on that Jewish New Yorker accent. But Tyre, sorry, that accent is killing me. But I love Judith, and that was my only negative with this episode is we ain't really getting no Judith. She said the devil like other hoes, and I fell out. But now I only saw the episode a few hours before we went live, and I must have missed it because I was trying to figure out they were being so nice to that cop. I was like, now this can't be the same creeper cop from I just knew it couldn't be, because why were they being so nice to him? And yeah, it's really tripping me out how they really bigging up Maddie head to make her think she Marilyn Monroe, because why is every man falling all over themselves for her? But I prophesize Judith gonna get in them thighs by episode 5. Like, Judith is gonna get her goal, baby. And that's when you're gonna finally get that XX scene that you have not been getting from Daniel and Maddie. That's when Maddie gonna be busting it wide open. When she get with Judith gonna turn her out. And I already know it. But yeah, something seems strange with Judith mentioning how does that just come up in conversation? But I hope they're not gonna make Judith be anything but a little funny little lesbian airhead, because I hope she's not gonna do nothing to mess, anything up with Officer Platt. Because I did say I didn't think anything lethal would happen to him, but when we saw him crawl up that fire escape, yeah, it's very much giving Mississippi Burning. It's very much giving Rosewood. Something is gonna go down with poor Officer Platt. Yeah,
child, is giving beaten up in the alleyway. That's what it's giving. I hope it ends at that. Like, you about to lose your life, but man, it ain't even wet like that, Ashley.
Ain't no gushy. And I don't understand why everybody wants this box, including little weird Gollum looking Judith. Look at her down there in that bottom left-hand slide. Look at her eyes. Loose lips sink ships, and she talks too much. I think she'll get in her feelings when she finds out that Officer Black is pounding them pancakes, and she's going to run her mouth. We already know that the cop in question, the creepy one, oh, my ears, they hurt. Do you want to kiss it and make it better? We already know he hates Platt. We already know there's enmity between them. When he finds out that he's smashing this white tea woman, it's over. It's over. And I think that Judith, thinks she's conscious and thinks she's woke and everything. But when it comes down to it, she talks too much, and she's a liability for Maddie. Maddie has too many secrets to keep someone like her around.
Oh, Lord, you should see my face when she told Seth, you should be out there being active, protesting in the streets. Girl, what the hell are you doing? D?
I think yes, I do agree. I think it's very evident that Judith is very ready to introduce Maddie to chapter 1 of the Kitty Cat Chronicles. And it's only a matter of time. I don't know when it's going to happen specifically, but it's countdown. As far as everything else, I just feel like water is wet. It's like, white mediocrity is a thing, and it's something that's been prevalent throughout history. So the thing is, when you are considered, quote unquote, the blueprint, that the standard for that doesn't require a lot. So the fact that Maddie can just kind of ease her way into these spaces and then be a credited contributor and get an advance and all that kind of stuff, not shocking. Water is wet, and I'm sure we'll continue to see more of that, considering that she is the one even who is taking, as we learn early on, she's the one who is taking credit for Cleo's story as well.
Oh, okay.
I think something's gonna happen to poor little Judith over here, because aggravating people don't usually be aggravating that long before something gonna happen to them. I got a feeling that people around Maddie, there's nothing good that happens to her circle of people. That's why she's kind of seems like a lone wolf, moving and changing who she is to fit her needs at the moment. Nothing good can come out of anybody that's hanging around her, because at this point nobody even knows who the real her is. She's been scamming so long, we don't even know the real Maddie at this point.
Don't be in these comments riding for Judith, Nikki. Don't nobody care about Judith. I feel like
Judith got a death wish.
Gonna have a little moment where they're gonna be alone. She's like, oh my God, Judith, I don't know if I led you on, honey, but I don't like you. Like, it's not what that is. I don't care about you in that way. I'll look at you like a daughter. And then she's gonna go over there. She's been sleeping with the blacks. Then they gonna roll up on Officer Platt.
I said nothing good is gonna happen to people around her. I just know.
Snitch. She give me score and snitch if she don't get between Judith's thighs one of these good old days. Cleo is confusing poor Teddy. The start of Cleo's big plan. 221 hit big when I was a little girl, but my daddy took the money and disappeared. I really just feel like that had Mr. Gordon written all over it. Like if you just hit really, really big, I feel like they took the daddy out. I feel like something is afoot with that. They maybe took her dad out, and the narrative is, you know, he was never seen again, so he must have just ran off with that money. I don't believe that, but that just goes to show what I feel like Mr. Gordon is capable of. And with that being said, I'm like, Cleo, like you low key, you have the same plan. You want to hit big, and you're expecting a payout. As we know, you know, in stuff like a Cotton Comes to Harlem, or what did I review? What is that movie with Robin Givens? Lord.
A Rage in Harlem?
Yes, Rage in Harlem. We was all in Harlem. A Rage in Harlem. Everybody don't want to pay out on the big number. Sometimes it's easier to just knock that person off. Girl, we still trying to do business. So depending on which number is hit, like we might not want to give that payout. It'd be quicker and, you know, easier for me to knock you off. Like much like I felt like they did the father. But poor Teddy, one moment she telling Teddy he getting slapped and strung up. Don't be out here running no numbers. When I catch you, I'm gonna beat you. And now we're like, you know, sharing information because at this moment, she feels like this is her best option, is to lean heavily into those numbers. Ashley, how do you feel about her relationship with Teddy? And do you feel like her dad disappeared with the money or he was knocked off?
You know, he'd been a family man, but then we also see the dynamic that he had with the wife. He was a degenerate gambler, but I like your theory better. I like that because we've seen that before, right? Too many people hit the number, or one person hit it too big, and they not paying that number. They not doing it. But as far as Teddy, I really don't like the dynamic of their relationship. Up until this point, every scene that we've seen with her and Teddy has not been one of love and comfort. She's been reprimanding him every single time that we've seen them in frame together. And so now I'm using you to get this information that I told you to stay far away from. I hate the message that it sends to him. And I'm not going to say she's not a loving mother. We've seen her dote on the youngest son who's sick, but her relationship with Teddy, you know, it's got something to be desired. But also she's trying to survive with this terrible plan. I just hate the messaging that it's sending to him. Because we see his nature, right? He's also caring for his little brother. We see him in episode 2, I believe, wrapping his brother's hands and trying to console and comfort him and trying to be the man of the house. That's the only reason he's out here running numbers, because his no good daddy isn't. You know what I mean? So I really just hate that. And I hate the devastation that it's going to bring when we know Cleo's ultimate end.
Not Ashley. Okay.
I hate when, you know, when shows have this moment. This always gives me what somebody is about to go out. Somebody's about to get taken out, and it's like he's able to get this sweet moment with his mother before she's gone. And I hated that the last moments that he's having with her are almost the same last moments that she had with her own dad. Like, you know, we gonna do these numbers, and you know, you know, generational trauma.
D.
Yeah, I definitely agree as far as the generational piece, like repeating these same patterns and how they reverberate into the future. And I just, it's like, as soon as I heard what she was saying, it was just like famous last words. Now, again, we don't know when we don't know when the time from this point to our actual demise, but still, it's like that's always that's always the goal. That's always the plan. And actually, I had just had a discussion about Uncut Gems, and considering how that film deals with gambling and the chaos and the foolishness involved in the world of gambling and how that ends for the main character, I'm just kind of reminded once again, like there's always that belief, like this is the one, this is the number, this is it, and it's quickly followed by something unfortunate. So, and for her to be having that conversation with her son as well, knowing what the outcome is, I agree, it's very tragic.
I just don't know what's keeping our girl here. The way I would have burnt that blue coat, got my children, and got the hell out of Dodge. Nikki?
Yeah, I agree with K and D. It very much is a tale as old as time when you're watching a movie or TV show. The second a character is like planning to get out of town, one last score, I'm gonna hit it big, and then something inevitably happens before they can do that. And also it feels like how shows do a foreshadowing of, like Kay said, this mirrors the last time she was with her dad. And even what Ashley said, every single time we see them, she's going hard on him. And now his last memory won't be her going hard on him. It'll be this little cozy moment. But it's this 221 and her wanting to do the number that Freddie does for Mr. Gordon. It very much gives that movie Lucky Number 11, where if you have someone in the underworld that's cheating, they know they run this number, and you're behind hit it, that's going to be suspicious. Freddie gets this number from Mr. Gordon. So if anyone else plays this number, that's suspect. But I did not factor in, because all the men in this show trash, that her dad maybe didn't leave her. I thought he just skipped town with the money. But I think he probably was killed. Like, you won something big. Mr. Gordon very much gives me Al Capone and shady, and I feel like he probably took him out, just like Frank Lucas took out old boy in the diner. He probably just threw a daddy in the river. And I feel like the first episode showed us Freddie dumping her in the water, but I feel like it can't be that straightforward. I really don't think they would give us the answer of who killed her. So I'm kind of feeling like maybe it's going to be Mr. Gordon revealing to her about taking out her dad before he takes her out.
You wrote a whole this is where, like, I lost all hope for Cleo. And it's crazy because we know where Cleo ends up, but I didn't know it would go like this, which I guess makes for a more intriguing story, of course. But Cleo, girl, what now? If I go down, Reggie, I'm taking you with me. Risking it all with Reggie and only offering 10% of $30,000. To use Dora in this capacity is crazy. Now, when she gets to the room, clearly we're trying to at least shed some light on, I guess, Dora's narrative of her being this talented singer, but she has an addiction. And since you've linked up with Reggie, it's benefit you to sing at the club, but also keeps you in this nice room. But you're also being, held down by Mr. Gordon in these drugs, because he always wants you here to be able to shack up with Reggie anytime he wants you to. But okay. So Dora's, you're being used, but we turn around and because I'm like, why is she at this room saying, I called Reggie, I need you to sit up, I need you to get up. Like, you didn't come here I thought they were getting her up to, but I was like, no, that was her last performance. That was her last dance at the Pink. Why would we be waking her up again like we did, last episode? She came here for her to be her witness and to use her. Just the verbiage of, what's she gonna do? You gonna kill both of us? Like, if something happens, I just was like, you're using Dora also. Like, this is quite disgusting on your part. And then it's not even a sensible use. You're gonna use somebody, fine. You're gonna use the one person in this room that is completely high out of her mind, that probably can't tell which way is up, to say, this is what's going on, Dora. So if something happened to me, he did it. And matter of fact, you're not going to let nothing happen to me because of our connection here and your connection to Dora. And Dora's my friend. And I just told her everything. So what you going to do, kill us both? Girl, what you're not going to do is use me. Second, this is a stupid plan. This is a dumb plan. Like you just said down there, Nikki, that was the first thing that came to my mind. You don't think any antennas are going to go up when not only do you hit the number, but you, out of all people, you, out of all the people in this city who play the numbers, you're gonna hit. And then you're gonna not only hit and just, it's one thing to hit and get your dead presidents on. We're gonna go around. Don't know everybody just buy. I just bought a couple of presents and handed them out to the kids. I'm just gonna lay low. No, you're gonna hit and then you're gonna just disappear. you're gonna hit, you're gonna disappear. I love when Reggie was like, you know, what about your kids? Oh, now you care about my sons. Like somebody needs to, because I don't know what's happening here. This is just not smart. And I was just trying to figure out, how did this whole scenario trump you going, Mr. Gordon, he sent me, my life is in jeopardy. Whatever it is with Reggie, he can still be your son, the apple of your eye. They are out looking for me. Or getting your stuff and disappearing. D, please make it make sense.
I just feel like Cleo definitely, like, she was already swerving in the freeway, but then like she took an off ramp somewhere, like completely left. And I was a little confused as to why. And the Dora thing was especially shocking. To quote Nene Leakes from the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 7 reunion. Now why am I in it? See how I get brought into stuff and I ain't even did nothing. So I'm just like, this woman is just minding her business. All of a sudden, like, oh, now you're gonna have to kill both of us. I'm like, here I am just relaxing. I'm retired. I'm on my way to Paris, and now I'm in the midst of my life hangs in the balance. Well, thank you so much. That's what a good friend does. As far as Cleo and again, maybe I'm just built a little different. You know, threatening people who obviously aren't wrapped too tight and doesn't necessarily have a high sense of morality, shall we say? That does not scream intelligence to me. And to also quote Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them, and you got to know when to walk away. What's going on, Cleo?
I mean, even if she trusted Mr. Gordon a little bit to go, oh, this is, you messed up as a businessman, like you said, I think that was Nikki who was like, if you're not doing your job, you hired these buffoons. Not only that, but you sent Cleo, yeah, you're not here for this. Let me get rid of you. She missed her element of surprise to go to Mr. Gordon behind Reggie's back. Like, you admitted everything here in this space and then said, if I go down, I'm taking you with me. How about I not give you a chance to go down and have you taken out? Ashley.
Here's the thing. It's just all silly. It's all silly because, okay, here's the thing. Here's what she should have done. And this would have gotten her and her babies spirited away. She's the bookkeeper. I would have went into work the next day. All right. Probably early that morning and done what I would have robbed him as much as I could have robbed him for, or at least just enough to get out of town. If she's going to say she didn't have the seed money to do it because this was stupid, you can't tell somebody what you're about to do. You got to do it under the guise of mystery and ease on down the road. She should have never called Reggie in the first place, because why are you calling him? If you were going to call anyone, call old boy. But if not, just get out of town. Just go steal the money, write it off the books. Y'all cook the books anyway. We know it's funny. Teddy makes a collection. He don't have none of the money he done collected from the numbers. I mean, you have ways of getting money without making this veiled threat to someone who's clearly homicidal and works for a maniac who's been terrorizing the hood for all of these years. Dora ain't going to Paris. I don't even know if they had the heron in Paris that she needed. Okay. And the fact that you were telling all of these deep secrets and, oh, if something happens to me, he did it. Dora don't care. Dora trying to go to sleep. Dora is nodding. Dora will never remember. Why would this be your witness of all people? It made no sense. Girl, you the bookkeeper. Cook the books, take the money and run. We didn't have to go through any of this. We didn't.
Okay.
I really hope she ain't trying to hit the numbers to get some money for that voodoo man of a pastor to help her child. Because this is a bit much, Cleo. This is a bit much. And then you already know that Mr. Officer over here knows what you did. Instead of saying, okay, he already know that I was in something, let me do more crimes anyway. Because he already gonna figure you. Have you not noticed that he's gonna figure you out? So we don't care that the cop already knows about me and has got an eye on me. Again, she is not built for this life at all. She's made so many. She has not made one smart decision in this criminal activity yet. Not one.
She not a criminal mind, Kay.
Not at all.
Nikki, anything else to share on this misfortune?
Yeah, I think we've been too hard on Cleo when it comes to her using Dora as a witness. First of all, she don't have nobody to go to. She can't go to her deadbeat husband. But I do agree. First of all, when she was at the job calling Reggie, I'm not calling the person that got me in the mess. I would have called Mr. Gordon. But she has no option. All she got is deadbeat husband, her kids, her mama, and her high friend. So out of all those options, who am I going to pick to be the witness? I guess I got to go with the high friend because at least she here. But yeah, I agree pretty much with what everybody else said. And it's really just a dumb idea. And I feel like, how much are we putting on the fact that Officer Platt not going to just arrest me? Like, he has info. He could do whatever he wants with that information. You know, his partner taking money. Like, I wouldn't put nothing past Officer Platt having this information on me. But yeah, I feel like now her whole thing is it's supposed to be anonymous. She says, oh, they won't be able to trace it back, but somebody got to pick up the winnings. Somebody got to go pick up the money when you win. Like, somehow it will trace back to you as anonymous. I just hope her son don't get messed up because now she done wrapped him up in the situation. And I feel like they always got to just tear the whole root out. They got to tear the whole tooth out. So I hope her son don't get caught up in nothing.
Okay, if she wasn't gonna call Mr. Gordon, I would have took Slappy hiding behind the door, listening in, like somebody who was at least a little alert to know, like not completely inebriated out of their mind and high as a kite. There just had to be. I would have picked somebody off the street. You could have had your mama in there. You could have had we already involved the baby thus far. You could have had Teddy underneath the bed. Anybody but Dora. What the hell Dora gonna do if she remembers to do anything anyway?
Nothing.
That was just terrible. And don't use me. How I get in it? I'm over here trying to be on my good dope. Girl, leave me alone. You blowing my mind. Just get out of here. Going to Paris, confronting somebody. Did you see the way he rolled up on her? Like, girl. And she's standing there like, I ain't scared of you, Reggie. You need to be scared of somebody because your sis is leaving. What's next in episode 4? We end off this episode. Maddie gets the interview with Stefan because why not? You know, Maddie gets everything. Maddie gets everything she wants so far, and we're leaving off wondering what this conversation is going to be. I hope that Stefan going into the next episode, I hope it isn't what she think it is, and it's just like, oh, this is a way to. I hope he questions her because we do have that trailer and he's like, how did you know where to go? How did you know? Asking, sensible questions that the cops didn't give a damn about. How exactly did you know to go to that spot to find Tessie's body? I'm hoping that she gets, more than she bargained for talking to Stefan. And I hope it's not just another man drooling over the likes of Maddie. I don't want to see that no more. Ashley, what are you looking forward to in episode 4?
Yeah, his freak factory is too deep to be swooning over Maddie. She's not the fishies, so I don't think she could compete. But I think in this situation, his character, for some reason, I like him. And I'm excited to see what we get from him, if we're going to get the coherent him that we saw in episode 1, or if we'll get that fragmented one that we saw that was dancing obsessively in the aquarium store or whatever. I hope Maddie gets checked in episode 4. I hope someone calls her to the carpet, and just lets her know, you're doing too much, Maddie. This is not your story. This is not your tale to tell. And I hope Cleo comes to herself. I hope she gets a moment of clarity. We already know how she's going to end. So 9 times out of 10, she's not. But I would like to see that before we see her exit this earth, that she's at least made peace in some areas. But yeah, Maddie is only going to get worse, in my opinion.
Nikki, what do you think we're getting in episode 4?
I don't know what we're going to get in episode 4, but I am excited to see, like Ashley said, I do really like this character, but I'm excited to see how quickly they're going to show Maddie in her journalism career, because it just seeing this picture right here, it's very much giving when you see a Black person on YouTube trying to do movie reviews and then their channel disappear, and then others get on there and in front of a little drywall, their channel blow up. That's what this picture is giving me right now. Like, Maddie literally is sitting down for an exclusive interview, and she was just a housewife making dry roast 2 episodes ago. Like, I can't wait to see how they're going to make that make sense.
They not, Nikki. I just feel like it's going to be what's the next order, where am I going next? And she's just gonna be in the building with a desk sitting across from Bob. D.
So I know the next episode, part of the title says innocence leaves when you discover cruelty. Now, I don't know if that's in reference to Maddie, to Cleo, or both. But there is definitely, I think there is definitely going to be a further exploration, one, of who actually killed Tessie and how Maddie was able to happen upon the exact place that her body was located, and then Cleo delving even deeper into this plan. And I don't know, and like I said, I don't know what the cruelty piece will entail, but I do know at this point, neither one of them have a firm grasp of what they're doing. So yeah, I'm just interested in seeing, like, I guess what continued chaos we're going to get from one or both of them in the next episode.
Oh, I'm scared. Okay.
It's giving, if I give you this, what you gonna give me? And I'm trying to figure out what kind of power does she have to give him anything? Because why would he tell you anything? Why would he give up any information? He don't know you. He ain't got a dog in this fight that you got going on for external validation. He already locked up. So, ma'am, if you want me to talk to you and tell you anything, what you got for me? So what you got, Maddie? What you got? We gonna give him
beauty, Kay. That's why she sent her photo. That's why she sent her headshot. I'm right. You gonna get to see me give you this interview. That's what she bringing to the table. All of this. Get to see all this Maddie, girl. What you talking about? You already know what she bringing. She bringing a typewriter, her little pencil, a notebook pad, and herself. That's it. That's all she brings. She ain't got nothing else to offer. She ain't got no money. you got nothing. Y'all, that was episode 3 of Lady in the Lake. Like, this was very good, very interesting. I can't wait to see where this show is gonna go, because I feel completely different. Well, I can't say Maddie, because I think we all feel concurrent on Maddie not being ish episode 1 and 2. But Cleo, like, girl, this is your plan, your master plan. I am going to come to Nikki first to let the people know what they have going on and what's next. Y'all, Nikki got a schedule. Nikki got a schedule, y'all. It is posted on, I'm gonna go to you, Nikki, but Nikki got a schedule posted on her community tab of things that she will be doing weekly. Take it away, Nikki. Let them know about your community tab posting your schedule, because she ain't never not had one of them.
Well, first, somebody in the comments said next episode Maddie gonna be smuggling in a goldfish, and that took me out. But yes, for the first time in my entire life, okay, I'm trying to stick to a schedule. I'm trying to be organized, even though that's blasphemy and it goes against my religion. But I have my new content upload schedule. Tuesdays will be new content. This Tuesday will be Long Legs and Bad Boys Ride or Die movie reviews. Thursdays are our watch alongs, and Saturdays is Killer Con, our horror Saturdays. We just had a great episode of Killer Con yesterday. Was so fun. So if you haven't, please make sure you check that out. And Sundays is Lady in the Lake. I have my separate solo review that I uploaded today for episode 3. If you would like to hear more of my thoughts in depth. So every Sunday I will be uploading, and then we will be here talking about it. And you can check out the content that just uploaded last week, my 20 best comedy movies of all time, best to be original movies. So I got some of everything that you're looking for. And guess what? You're gonna know when it's coming, because what? I's grown up now, and I's got a schedule.
I'm married now. Ashley, with the sweet perspective, I'm going to come to you next to let the people know what's up over there on the channel. Go ahead, Ashley.
Absolutely, guys. Come on over. Ooh, excuse the lights. Okay, so tonight, House of the Dragon will be up by 1 a.m. Y'all know how we do. We watch it live, honey, and I'll be right back with the review. Interview with a Vampire season 3 trailer is already up on the channel and it's going up. So y'all go support me for that. Don't forget, Monday night we have the House of the Dragon live, and Tuesday night Interview with a Vampire. And I believe we are on season 1, episode 2. Just be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, y'all, so you don't miss a thing. And Tyra, thank you so much for hosting. This was fun.
It was. I feel like we're going to go in depth with every single episode we get. Kay Bly with the books, because she reading them over there, giving that good Marvel content. Tell the people what you got coming up on your channel.
Y'all, it's a lot. I got a lot coming up. I'm going to have to put out a calendar like Ashley and Nikki to be all formal and stuff. But y'all know, Sundays, Lady in the Lake. Mondays, House of the Dragon. Tuesdays, Interview with the Vampire. This Friday will be a horror live from me. We'll be talking about horror movie openings. Saturday, of course, is a KillerCon horror panel. There's reviews on the channel for Deadpool and Wolverine, The Boys, Evil, A Quiet Place, The Watchers, Tarot. Just come on over. Lots of nerdy horror stuff, superhero stuff. Come on.
I love you, Kay. There's a horror movie opening video, from me of all people. I'm doing a video. I love you, Kay. Last but not least, the brilliant Movieman. Let the people know what you have coming up and going on your channel.
Hello, everyone. This is Movieman, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. And that is the bulk of what I do over on my channel. I like discussing it all, including movies, the occasional trailer recap, trailer reaction, and then the occasional series recap. I actually have been in the midst of some really great collaborations, including with these lovely ladies here. But I recently had a discussion with Big Ken Talks. We had a conversation and a general interview about my presence on this platform, how I got started, what the impact of that has been, some of my thoughts on the current state of movies this year. It was a really great experience. It was such a wonderful conversation, one I wasn't expecting. We've recently connected on the platform, so please feel free to check that out. As far as the content I have coming up, I, of course, recently had the chance to see Deadpool and Wolverine, so I have a couple of videos coming out regarding that, definitely spoiler filled. And I will also be giving my thoughts on Lady in the Lake. I just have to find a way to curtail my penchant for detail and being a general blabbermouth. So if I can get that together with my editing, I should have something up very, very soon. But yes, stay tuned, be patient with me, and I appreciate the support. Thank you, Tyra, so much for having me.
Absolutely. And if he just so happens to not be able to do that, you can always hear his opinion here on this very lovely Lady in the Lake live. Sometimes we can't show up every time, every which way. Sometimes we can only give our opinion the way we can give it that one time. And maybe, next time we'll be better prepared. It's a growing experience. But everybody's link is listed below in the description box for their channel. We're at the end of the live now. So walk, don't run, and get over there and support anyway. I ain't gonna say anybody I bring on here, because some people I bring them on and I don't never want to come back. But support everybody here. Go and link up everything that they are dropping today, tomorrow, the next day, and tonight. Go over there and support it. We appreciate it and we embrace you. And we will definitely see you guys next Sunday for Lady in the Lake episode 4. Good night, y'all.